Here's what I know is true. Most weight loss plans are one size fits all. So frustrating. They don't take into account each person's individual needs, which could mean dietary restrictions, medical issues, or other personal needs. That's why you're going to love Noom. It's built for your psychology and your biology, meeting you where you are. Noom's personalized programs feel more sustainable than any other, more restrictive weight loss programs. And also, it doesn't shame you when you choose to treat yourself, and that's important. I like this company because it's got a psychology and biology-based approach and a super easy app to use with lots of great features, including daily lessons, coaching, and flexibility. I think it's your time to start. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit Noom.com for more information.
Today, the beverage aisle looks a lot different than it used to. America's beverage companies are working together. We're delivering the options everyone wants. In fact, nearly 60% of beverages Americans buy have zero sugar. You'll find more variety than ever, including more of your favorites, now available with zero sugar. You'll also find more sizes and clear calorie information on the front of every can, bottle, and pack. We know when it comes to finding balance, the more choices, the better.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. I hope that you're having a great week. I got to tell you, this is one of the funniest episodes I have ever recorded. Over 1,200 episodes. I'm telling you, I laughed so hard. I was silently laughing. You know when that happens when nothing actually comes out as you're laughing, but you're maybe punching a table or kicking a wall or punching the sky. It's like one of those episodes. I've got Chris DeRosa and Dominick Pupa, both are reality TV producers. They're also the co-hosts of Fixing Famous People podcast, a must listen. I love this episode because their insight into the making of these shows is so hilarious and on point. Chris in particular works on a lot of cooking shows for the Food Network. So since this is a lifestyle show, I thought most perfect to have his insight. Now, this is a show that we've been hearing about for a little bit because Meghan was going to release episodes in January, but because of the fires, it was delayed. Now, Meghan is Meghan Markle, also Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And this show is called With Love, Meghan. It blends practical how-tos and candid conversations with friends, new and old. So their aim is for her to share personal tips and tricks, embracing playfulness over perfection, which I don't really agree with, and highlights how easy it can be to create beauty even in the unexpected. She and her guests roll up their sleeves in the kitchen, the garden, and beyond, and invite you to do the same. It is beautifully shot. I mean, who doesn't want to live in Montecito after watching this show? I'm eager for you guys to listen because I think that if you've watched the show, you're probably going to punch a wall and agree with us. If you haven't watched the show, you're going to be even more amused when you watch. So it's a win-win situation. And I'm telling you, these guests, oh my God, I could not have been laughing harder. An absolute hilarious episode. Must listen. So if you know people that have also watched this series, you're going to want to share this episode. Absolutely. I also wanted to tell you that this past summer, I filmed a series that will air on HBO and Investigation Discovery. It's a 6-part series that airs beginning March 24th. It's called Hollywood Demons, and it pulls back the glamorous curtain of fame to expose the hidden struggles, sacrifices, and scandals of life in the spotlight. There are several episodes. One of them, for example, is about Stephen Collins from Seventh Heaven. You've got one about child stars gone violent, the dark side of the Power Rangers, the real Iron Claw, stalking the stars. My episode airs April 14th. It's called Housewives Gone Bad. So, again, I filmed it last summer. My episode airs on April 14th. The series is called Hollywood Demons. Okay, prepare yourself. I think this is going to make you laugh so hard, and at least I hope it does, but I think it will. So here is my interview with Chris and Dom. All right, before we get into Meghan with Love, I have to ask you about something that you guys covered on your show that I was not aware of, but need to get to the bottom of. First of all, welcome back to the show, by the way.
Thank you for having us, as always.
I've been on this show 3 times.
Honestly, since the last time I've been on here, Chris has hosted more than Kate.
That's exactly right.
Like, there's an episode of me and you on this show that I haven't listened to yet because I haven't had the time because I've been on this show. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Well, I saw this clip from your show, and I have to ask you about this.
Okay.
Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez are going to space?
Yep.
What?
They're going to space because we're still waiting on that. We'll let you know next week. No one knows why. They've just been because Lauren Sanchez's boyfriend owns the spaceship. That's why they're doing it. I mean, I'm sure Gayle is going for journalistic reasons. Lauren's going because she's fucking the guy who owns it. Katy Perry, why? As we said on the podcast,
why?
We think they chose Katy Perry because no one liked her album here, so she's going into space to find someone who likes it.
Well, it says it's going to be a 10-minute flight to space from a West Texas launch pad, and it's this spring. The mission will be the first time since Russian cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova's solo flight in 1963 that an all-female crew will be on human-crewed space flight leaving Earth, according to Blue Origin. I should also note that after that, I saw some astrologist said basically that Gayle should abort mission. Like, do not go. Bad things are ahead. So I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah, she has to be with Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez in a spaceship.
We want it. We want to turn it into a reality show hosted by Gayle. And while they're up there, she reveals that America will vote on who stays up there, Katy Perry or Lauren Sanchez. Also, this all-female flight, God forbid something goes wrong with this, the government will take away all female driver's licenses. It'll be over. Like, you are tempting fate in our current climate, Katy Perry.
Oh, God.
The fate of all womanhood lies with
it does say in this article that Lauren was instrumental in bringing the group of women together. So I'm
sure she was.
That sheet.
What?
Who else was on that sheet?
Oh, God.
This is a family podcast, so I won't say what I would say on fixing famous people. But
I know, really.
She was being launched when she came up with the idea, is the joke I won't tell.
I mean, I want to see the cheat sheet of the people who said no. Like, who said no?
Okay, also, this is finally just hitting me. I bet what is Lauren Sanchez's, like, spacesuit going to look like? Because you know... Like, how does one show cleavage with no atmosphere? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a cutout.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say it. Ladies, forgive me. I gotta say it. I can't wait to see Lauren Sanchez's face in Zero Gravity. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Queen. What?
Wow.
If that gets back to her, she's bailing out of the mission. She's going to replace herself with, I don't know, Mackenzie, who's Bill Gates, Mackenzie Gates.
20.
Yeah, someone else. A billionaire's wife. Yeah, what's that? I mean, we will see. That space is the place where you can't hide.
10-minute flight. That sounds...
Oh, God.
By the way, Gayle...
Listen, that's enough.
That was the longest ride of my life.
yeah, right? Her hair's all, like, fucked up. She's like comes out like... Oh. You know what I mean? Like, she's like... Yes. 10-minute flight. Enough time for Katy Perry to sing E.T. Extraterrestrial 3 times. You're so hypnotizing. Could it be? If she doesn't do that at this point, it's not, why are we doing this?
I don't even know about how long a no list would have been, because this seems perfectly crafted. Like, it's 3 women. They're all different races. They're from different generations. They're all like different careers. I mean, they're front-facing people.
But they're all in entertainment. Come on.
Yeah. But it's still, there's different wheelhouses. I mean, I don't know. They seem carefully selected.
There's no mechanic. There's no one who owns like a home.
No.
Like
someone wants to kill these 3 women. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. It's just so random. I'm like,
no, there have to be. No, wait. But wait. There are going to be other people on the...
No, of course there are.
Yes. Okay,
only,
No, Kate's saying it's not like Lauren Sanchez and like two nobodies. Like it's like three celebrities.
Okay. I'm like,
I thought I
misinterpreted. Like,
they're not piloting the craft, Dominic. No.
Because in that case, I would only want Gayle King and the other two could just stay home.
Would you think that at the Oscar Vanity Fair party, people were just kind of like trying to walk past her at the bar, like, hey, if there's another spot available on the rocket ship.
Oh my God. Ridiculous.
They're like, I heard Katy Perry's a maybe as a tech avail. Like, I'll
back up. I'll back up. Anyway, I did talk to you about that.
Yes, P.S. Doja Cat was like, did you just see my rendition of Diamonds Are Forever? Would you like me to be up there?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do want her to be up there and launched out of it after that rendition. How dare she?
All the other singers who are like, wait, I'm left off the list? Or do you think the other ones are like, thank God I didn't get asked? Could be one of the other.
They're thanking God.
Like, is Carrie Underwood like, what? Huh?
Do you think after the three of them rehearsed, Ray raised her hand and said, just a suggestion, I should probably go last. Just letting you know I should go last.
100%.
Oh, God.
Yeah. She is something, man.
I love her.
Love her.
She's Amy Winehouse reincarnate in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. With a twist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you hear
twist,
Amy every time, but then there's a twist.
But then she's her own person. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
anyway,
we are gathered today to talk about a show that is
speaking of space aliens.
No shit. And so I love how funereal her intro is. We are gathered here in this hole to get the bitch in it finally.
Oh my God. Well, this show was supposed to happen in January and then the Palisades fires. So now we know what she's been working on for quite some time. It's this lifestyle show. Yes, we were talking about Meghan Markle, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. The show is called Meghan with Love. I don't even know where to begin with this treasure.
Oh, it's so not good that I now think she started the fires to delay this so she could be polishing the shit. God. Good Lord.
Well, let's first talk about how the show is shot, because I think that is the high note. It is beautifully shot.
It's breathtaking.
Do you know the team behind it?
No, but
really
I have.
Well done.
I've had many boots on the ground come to me with gossip for this, by the way.
Okay. Do you want to start right now?
Okay. The camera people, I don't know. I didn't even really look at the credits for the camera people because I was obviously too blown away by it saying executive producer Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Right. So I then went into a blind rage and didn't see the other credits.
Yeah.
But camera-wise, it is gorgeously shot. Like, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But one note, and again, no one will understand what this is for the next 5 minutes, but just go with me.
Okay.
The cameramen, the camera operators that are operating, and the director, that man that keeps talking to her and she's
eating egg sandwiches.
talking to the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
They all are wearing this thing called the party line, which is what people wear when you're in we have them on Beat Bobby Flay so that the cameramen don't crash into each other while they're chasing around Bobby and a contestant, running through kitchens and throwing knives up in the air. Do you know what I'm saying? It's for things, it's for people Chopped has this.
It's to protect themselves on a chaotic set, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's no reason for these camera operators to be wearing this apparatus.
Okay.
In any way possible, especially because there's seemingly only 3 camera operators.
I know.
I direct more cameras on a daily basis on The Real Housewives than they have. And I don't have anything close to this amount of production going on. Does that make sense?
Odd. Yeah, that's weird.
It's just very what we're making is going to be the best thing that's ever happened. And it's I could have made this for $1 million less and it would look exactly the same.
Right.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the vibration that I'm getting from the camera team.
Okay.
That being said, it is, I'm transfixed by how beautiful it's shot.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is it some sort of filter on it? Is it the lighting?
It's just
what is
very expensive cameras is what it is.
It's also lit. It's definitely, she's lit the right way.
Perfectly.
For sure.
Beautiful.
She's also unspeakably beautiful. I mean, she really is
beautiful
in every way.
I watch a show like this standing up almost nose to nose. And I'm not even joking at certain points because I'm trying to answer these questions that you're asking right now, like to figure out why it looks that way, like as a producer. And my guess would be that she's just lit properly.
Right.
She's also not doing it. Like she's at that island the whole time. And so as long as you light it good that way, like it's like you're not, it always looks great. If you light it perfectly
everything's
for that.
lit well. There's no shadows going between the counter. I mean, if we're going to get to between the counter and the stove, I mean, they're like, we'd probably die if we were in that room and saw how lit it was.
Yeah.
Well, and also it's beautifully decorated, that white background. Right. And then the landscaping too.
My friend worked with the art department and said, and I put on my Instagram story, like, this art department should win awards. And she was like, I worked with them and they have one. Like they are an award-winning art department. Like the art department is like the best of the best. And you see that in every frame of the show.
Right.
It is
of the Airbnb that is not her home, that she mentions is not her home and then never mentions why.
Which P.S. I'm so sorry. Well, no, but regardless, any one person stand-up cooking show is never filmed in someone's home. Period.
True.
It is everyone I've ever done, which is a lot of them, has been on a set.
True. Giada De Laurentiis always. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But where do you think that is? Because I want to go there.
I wonder if it's like the little guest house in her real house.
No, I don't think so. Because I've seen pictures of the house and it has a different aesthetic to it. It's more like yellowy, sort of like Tuscany, I think. I don't think it's white
or
like
it's
that.
just like someone's house that they were like, we'll pay you to
maybe.
Like
It's beautiful.
Like if I had to do it, if I had to do it, that would be what I would do. Is like go look at nice houses in the area that are like for what we need. Like and then
just
be like,
pay them.
We just pay you to like go live in a hotel for 2 weeks while we shoot this. You know what I mean? That's like completely normal.
It's like, a Days Inn in Temecula that happens to border a garden.
I do think she is super paranoid about privacy though. Because the last show...
Understandable.
Yeah, the last show that they did was not filmed at their actual home either. So that could just be part of it.
And I'm fine with it. I never thought that I was getting it in her house. Can we just say that? I never thought we were going inside their house to do this. P.S. You know, I just like assumed it was just like every other show that I've done exactly like this. That's like a house that we turned into a set to shoot the show with.
What other gossip did you get?
She's very, very, very nervous about the way that it's going to come off. And you feel that, I feel like, in the show.
I think so. Definitely in the beginning.
She's very into perfectionism.
100%.
She's very into perfectionism. And she really was like, she's so wants to look perfect at all times, which again is her downfall always.
I know.
You know? And so hearing that made me go.
I felt, that makes me feel sympathetic. Yeah.
All right. Like now it makes sense why she can't get out of her own way. Now it makes sense why all the annoying things that I put on my Instagram story about this show exist, because she's so nervous and like can't just let the veil slip for a second and be a person. Because she's
but then you can't say things in the show like, it's okay if you mess up. It doesn't have to be perfect when you know that the person is combating that.
We're gonna get there because I have a copious notes about her little quips that she throws out there that make no sense at all. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk first about
those quips that she's doing. She's literally in post. She's going down a checklist of all the things she needs people to know about, that she wants people to know about her, that form in her head this fully assembled human being that she thinks we'll all now think about her. When even the most pedestrian people new to the medium of television or streaming or whatever the kids are calling it will watch one episode of this and be like, what is she hiding? This is not who is this?
Well, I want to ask you guys about the first episode, because having made so many reality shows, wouldn't you want your first episode to be strong? Why did she choose to do it with her friend who, God bless, just does not seem to have a dynamic personality?
I was fine with him. I felt the first episode was so weak, where we got to some other, like the episode with the Korean fried chicken, in my opinion,
that was
the best
good too.
Of the show.
Me too. I agree.
That and the one where she makes the tacos with the friends.
Yes.
When that chef came over and made tacos for her mahjong group. That to me, I'm walking past that because I can't even put a toe in that situation for 1 second. But those two were strong. And this first one was so weak that but the reason, to answer your question, she made that one first because she felt that, or Netflix, P.S., Netflix's notes on this were probably like the Bible. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this has been so heavily picked apart by every single freaking person that's ever breathed in the direction of Netflix, and you feel that in the show, in my opinion. The reason that episode was first, sorry, Dominic, I'll let you speak.
It's like, Jesus.
He's like chewing on the mug.
Check my email. Go ahead.
The reason that this was the first episode is because there was so many canned, like, produced lines of being like, and Meghan, you've always been an entertainer. You always have been like, even when you were on Suits, like when you were in Toronto, a place you didn't want to be, you found a way to like be a Susie homemaker there in your rented apartment. That is why, Dominic, am I wrong?
No. She also, unfortunately, having cast 1,000 reality shows or having produced reality shows where we have to bring in other people to, you know, make the talents world seem populated. She either doesn't have many actual friends or none of her actual friends wanted to do this. Because
I think so.
For episode 1, for a makeup artist that she met, and she's like, wow, we've known each other for, 15 years. Yeah, that's not a long time to have a friend when you're in your 40s. It's not like, this is a work friend who you kept in touch with, who doesn't even live in the same city as you.
Yeah.
That's who they put in the first episode. When you want to see someone's confidant who's known her for 30 years, when you want to see an actual real friend to really humanize her, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And I suspect it was her idea to put the beekeeping and the bath salts right at the top of episode 1, because she wants people to think that she's the beekeeper bath salts lady, like that she's still not getting it. She just does not fucking get it. They should have led the show with her fake friend and her eating the spaghetti and then backtrack to the bees, you know, or something like that.
Yeah,
like they wanted,
like, here's
and
how
we
we got
discussed
here.
this on FFP as well. Like that, we're sure that the network notes were like, we want something beautiful. We want something active to be the first shot. So, you know, the beekeeping is unique and you do stay and watch it. I think I would have stayed just as long because it's Meghan Markle. If they'd opened with her cutting tomatoes, I'm still hooked. Like to me, that's more of what I want to see rather than her beekeeping and talking about her honey. And I'm going to insult people who have their own bees on a second podcast today and say, I don't understand you people who just have like the bees. You're like, but all the honey we get from it. How much honey are you ingesting that you need to keep? Right. These are always people with children too. Go take care of your children.
Right.
You don't need bees.
Yeah.
How much honey are you consuming? It seems unreasonable to me that that's why you have bees. Crazy. Chris, you should talk because when I talk about bath salts, it's over. I'm shutting the whole podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Let's face it, weight loss can feel overwhelming. That's why Hers is changing the game. By providing access to GLP-1 medications plus expert care, they make your goals more achievable. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door if prescribed. Hers offers a holistic weight loss program with personalized solutions, including compounded GLP-1 weekly injections, featuring the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy or oral medication kits. So after submitting an online intake form, a licensed medical provider will determine what plan is best for you. And if prescribed, your program includes medication, ongoing care, and online support, and all at one cost. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time for you to find the best option that works for you through Hers. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/KateCasey. That's forhers.com/KateCasey for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/KateCasey. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
Ladies, is everyone trying to fix their health concerns with unproven gummies and tricks? Well, thank goodness, Low Libido has a real clinically proven treatment. Low libido can be so frustrating, but there is a treatment called Addyi, ADDYI. Addie is the first and only FDA-approved pill proven to boost sexual desire in certain premenopausal women. Isn't that great? A clinically proven option for your low libido that comes from a doctor, not a gas station. Learn more at Addie.com and take charge of your sexual health with a treatment that's backed by science. Remember, that's Addie, ADDYI.com.
Addie, or flibanserin, is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. The low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addie is not for use in men or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addie dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addie at bedtime. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is also increased if you take certain prescriptions, over-the-counter or herbal medications, or have liver problems. Low blood pressure and fainting can happen when you take Addie, even if you don't drink alcohol or take other medicines. Do not take if you are allergic to any of the ingredients in Addie. Allergic reactions may include hives, itching, or trouble breathing. Sleepiness, sometimes serious, can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including boxed warning, at addie.com/PI or call 844-PINK-PILL. Addie.
That's Addie, ADDYI.com.
Let's not forget that the pasta dish that she makes with a friend is quite
disgusting.
Literally the TikTok pasta trend that was like what every single person made in quarantine, where you got like a block of feta cheese and put the pasta noodles and those and like basil and the little cherry tomatoes and like put it in the oven. She just does it on a stove, and she just puts spaghetti instead of like rigatoni or like a penne. Like it's the exact same recipe.
I'm sorry, it's disgusting. One pot, it's creamy without the cream. I'm like, I don't want it. It's like starch water. Gross.
Oh,
I'm so glad Chris said that too, because I was like, I gotta tell you, I gotta
tell you, it's great. But yeah, you're a freak. But anyway, but she
and throw protein in there too. There was not even really any protein.
But also, she doesn't even use the block of cheese. She just puts in Parmesan at the end to make it creamy, which would be good. But again, she's like, like this is a recipe that every person that has an internet connection knows how to make. And that's the first real cooking that you're doing on this show.
Yeah.
By cheese, you meant the chev, right? Which is how it was. So just going to put a little bit of the chev on top. I make a protein scramble every morning of my life that looks pretty identical to that frittata. Yeah. There is not a single story behind any of the ingredients that go into it. Well, we want some arugula to absorb this and absorb. I'm like, ma'am, just throw the shit on and put a lid on it.
What about the crudités? That is not inventive. It's pedestrian. Everybody can make a goddamn crudité.
But that at least is, she's like, I eat this every day. That at least is like, I make one of these every single day. And I'm not going to lie, I love the, like, it looks beautiful. It does look beautiful.
Sure. Yeah, but like everybody can do it. Why do you need to watch a show on how to cut up vegetables? That's silly.
The note for, minus the other people's recipes that they make, every single thing she does is like, I didn't need you to show me how to do this.
Why aren't peas always served
presented like this? I know. And this is the thing.
Because it's dumb.
All her friends are being insufferable, whereas the people that she doesn't know that come on are like really great with her, and she does really well. The episode with the chef from LA with the Korean fried chicken and the watermelon kimchi and all that stuff.
He's a star.
He was great when he's making fun of her because she has like a pepper that is not hot, and she's like, this is so spicy. Like, tell me that's spicy, and she's like, you're right, it's not spicy. I was like, there we go. That's all we need here. But when her like that Abigail, not Abigail Breslin, what's her name? Abigail Spencer.
Yeah.
Those two friends came over, and she's supposed to be like, and she's like, we've been known each other for so long. We never were in scenes together at Suits, but I love you. And you were always inviting me over. Like when the friends are giving her resume, I'm like, give me a break.
Because they met her that morning at the Days Inn. They met her that day. They didn't even talk on set at Suits.
They've been on like 7, Dominic, we've both been there. They've been on 17 phone calls like on the way here where she's like, and then you're going to say this, and then you're going to say this, and then you're going to say
that.
this. And
I
then
think you're giving too much credit.
And then it's our job to be like, okay, no, speak like a person. Right. No one was doing that. That man that she was making coffee for every morning was too afraid of her to be like, this sounds so fake. You know what I mean?
And also, How many times did she say throughout the series? I mean, we've been through a lot together about the guests, but then he's not encouraging her to say, what have you been through?
Thank you. I'm getting to my note because it's exactly this. I said, she doesn't speak like a person who is hosting a lifestyle show. She speaks like a person that is talking in sound bites that are things that you'd hear in the trailer for a show. It's all like, we've been through so much together. She says the word community like so many times.
You're reading your own note.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
that's what I do on this.
I literally thought you were reading from the Hollywood Reporter. I was like, that's a good point. I'm like, that's you.
I am reading from the Hollywood Reporter, Dominic. Yes. No, on this show, unlike our own, I read my notes to Kate and she laughs.
You're like, got it. Yeah.
And then scream at her about why they're right.
I read my notes to Kate. I read my notes to Kate and she laughs. Okay,
yes.
Go proceed.
No, I'm not joking at all. She so badly keeps bringing up community and bonding over food, but doesn't do any of that.
No.
He keeps talking about community, and we're in this like bunker with her, with like two friends that were approved and like given hazmat suits to come in and like say exactly what she told them to say.
But and this thing is, they're not friends. Even when Mindy Kaling comes over and she delivers the whole thing about, you keep calling me Meghan Markle. It's Meghan Sussex, right? And she says it's Sussex now. And I'm thinking to myself, you got married in 2018 and your good friend Mindy Kaling doesn't know your last name?
Right.
At what time this morning did you meet Mindy Kaling for the first time?
Well, she does say that. They were
insanity.
Email friends. She said, we became email friends.
Oh, God. They had the same agent. That's it. They had the same agent.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. One other thing about not being a great friend to Abigail, by the way, is that she references Abigail's floral business, but then doesn't give her an opportunity to explain what is the floral business.
Also, why is Abigail Spencer not being with her whenever she's doing the
flowers?
The flower.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it turns out it's not a floral studio, it's a yoga studio, and they all fucked up, and Abigail was afraid to embarrass her. I made that up, but let's go with it. Someone picked that up. A lot of people listen to this podcast, right? Yes, that was the true thing that I said. Go for it.
Okay.
I don't know why I have this, but I wrote Abigail Spencer needs to tone it the fuck down. Because she came in so performative. And again, like Kate, imagine this being your first of all, LOL.
I thought about that the whole time.
Imagine Kate being this is Kate's show. Say you have a show that's a rival show to this, and it's Kate's show. Like, I'm going to do lifestyle. And Dominic and I are your two friends that are going to come over. We would be like wasted episode, like minute 5 we'd be all drunk.
Totally.
We'd be falling all over each other, talking over each other. Well, basically what we're doing right now. You know what I mean?
Like, each other.
Roasting each other, screing at each other.
Where are those kids so that you don't pay attention to?
Yeah, where's your kids? Are you beating them in the back? Like, LOL? Like, are they like, are they the ones like picking the strawberries for whatever the jam we're about to make? Or make them do child labor, LOL.
I bring out the Branzino and I'm like, and we're going to salt this and debone it. What is your reaction?
And I'm like holding it up like it's like a trout that we like caught at. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like we would be doing such dumb shit. And they were like Stepford Wives 7.0. Like, yes, and it is so great that Archie did get this thing. What do you mean he got a Branzino? Or could you do any fish in this way? And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, you're supposed to be friends. Like, she has a better rapport with people that she doesn't know than the people that she are supposed to be friends that she's had for 15 years.
Remember when she goes, that is the
problem.
Remember when I told you that Archie caught a fish on our trip? And they were like, yes, we remember that story.
As if you're in Squid Game and there's like a red dot, like as if like a sniper is ready to take them out at any moment. Do you know what I mean?
Does Abigail and the other friend, do they like hop in the car leaving and then they call each other on speaker?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. They're like, what was that shit
I'd be afraid.
show?
I would be afraid to even do that. I probably wouldn't call her until the following day because I'd be afraid there was some sort of surveillance device attached to me.
Happening on me.
To do it.
I also
your car is
think
being tracked.
That if you're either like you have kind of like a weak base personality or you are a monster, you feel like you have to overgift people for them to like you. The fact that like her neighbor, she puts together this basket with like Napa cabbage and all these fruits and the letter. I'm like, normal people don't have to do this.
Well, that's a big part of the problem too, is that what we watched her do, particularly in the first 2 episodes, is the visual is that she's preparing for a large group of people. Like that's what a show like this does typically.
Yeah, Barefoot Contessa.
But she was she was making bath salts, culling honey, if that's even the right verb, or having John Lennon go out and scoop the honey out of the hole or whatever it was. The bath salt with the rose, the lavender tea bags in there, like leave in the bath salts. It was a lot with the burlap wraps, the frittata, the crudité with the expertly presented peas, a cake, like painstakingly prepared cake. And it was this was for one person. Do you want to know what happens when my best friend comes over? We do drugs, order Thai food, and watch The Mandalorian. Like, that's it. And if we're done with The Mandalorian, then we'll just binge something else that's incredibly stupid. It's just so... Who does this? You want to, your goal for the past few years, you destroyed the royal family because you are a real person and God damn it, you'll be treated like one. Real people do not make candles for their friends to burn in their rooms while they're sleeping.
Which P.S. Goop is shaking by that. That candle thing, I was like, Goop is shaking.
Wait, not only that, because she's not just, she's laughing actually at this point. The show, by the way, has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes after 24 hours in existence. The bath salts. This is another issue popped up for me yesterday. When I have a house guest, you want to know what the last thing is I want them to do? Take a fucking bath in my house. No. She's prepared salts. When you stay at Dominick Pupa's apartment, what you get is one blanket that probably still has dog hair on it, even though my dog's been dead for 2 years, and one pillow that smells like my dandruff shampoo because I'm pulling it right off my bed. Period. You're not getting honey. You're not getting a candle. You are getting whatever was still open on Seamless, depending on what time we rolled in here. And that's it.
Oh my God.
Salts.
By the way, if you come to my house, you're probably going to sleep in a twin bed with a kid stuffed animal.
Yeah, because you made one of your kids go and sleep in a different bed so that you had one.
And the kids are going to be outside the door screaming at each other at 6:30 in the morning, and you're going to have a hangover and you're going to be so angry. Absolutely. By the way, when she gives him all this stuff, and he even talks about the one skillet pasta. He's like, I don't have anywhere to put this in my shoebox in the apartment.
I love that.
Because I make 4 pennies and you live in a fucking cottage.
That was the best line he said when she was like, when you're going from the counter to the stove, and he goes, girl, there are no counters in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. When she goes, my kids call him Uncle Daniel. I'm like, they've never called him that. They're like, Mom, is your hairdresser here? Or is your makeup
is this
guy
little
here?
faggot that's coming to do
Honestly,
your hair?
also, if they're calling him Auntie Daniel, maybe I would believe that. That is not Uncle Dan. I'm sorry, Queen. Get out of here.
I also, one note I have is everyone is forced to say that they see Meghan, quote unquote, in her element. It's so much of that with the friends of
being phony.
Yes.
them proving that she does this, because she's told them beforehand to say that. Do you know what I mean?
To say
that. Whereas again, when we get to the Korean fried chicken and all that, when he's teaching her how to make it, and
she's better as a student. She's better as a student.
When we're actually cooking, when he's chop up all these things and really make a sauce that's a complex sauce that is hard to make, it's fun and I'm enjoying it and she's having fun and we're having fun and she's not acting. Another note was I said, I really let it sink in with me finally that she's from LA. And I said, this does not help her. She's done Hollywood for her whole life. And so her version of relatable is just so different from what the real version of relatable is. Does that make sense?
Well, she's still playing a character, but doesn't realize it. By the way, is that her real personality to be that old? Because a lot of the things she says, she's like, I'm just tickled. Things, they just sound so old. Or when Mindy Kaling's like, tell me about your look, L-E-W-K. She's like, what is that?
And she's like, my Luke? Who's Luke?
And then she's got her
Mindy's like, you're an idiot.
Friends. She drinks tea. I'm like, is this purposeful that you want to present yourself as an old lady?
But that's what I'm saying is when Abigail Breslin, or whatever her name is, comes.
I have no idea what her last name is.
Abigail Spencer. When Abigail Spencer and the other woman come, if you had a gun to my head and said, what is her name? I would just blow my own brains out. But when they come over again, that should be the boozy bitches, woo, you know what I mean? That's me, you and Dominic and taking shots. Yes. And they were even here's our cocktails. And she's still
sipping.
yes, like a cocktail with friends. And I'm like,
oh, and by the way, to your point,
about one thing. Like,
yes, to your point, when she takes out the molds to do the orange into the mimosa, like I've seen that on TikTok 75,000 times.
Oh, yes. I mean, most of the stuff on her show, she saw on TikTok. And it's just
and we saw on TikTok. Yeah. Like someone was like, oh, the culinary team probably did so well. I said, the culinary team didn't have much to do until a real chef came in and was like, I need mirin, I need mirin, water, I need I need green onion, right. I need like ancho chilies, I need that like real, actual real stuff.
Real ingredients.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing that's so annoying is that she's like, every single like product is like the most bougiest, because
they're selling it. It's all for sale, right?
I love Meyer lemons so much. Like every orange she cuts is like a blood orange or like, do you know what I mean?
Tangelo, yes.
It's like nothing is ever just like a normal anything. It's always like the most bespoke thing. Yes. And so it's like, there's a world in which even when like Martha Stewart did it, there was like, here's how you would do this. Yeah. It could still be elevated, but it was approachable, and nothing she does here is approachable.
Right.
No, like
Martha used to have a segment called "And If You're Poor" at the end.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
No, but she cannot get off that line. Like she is, I believe, by nature that bespoke person, but she doesn't. She's trying to create a human being that can be equal parts that and equal parts I was a latchkey kid and why would I ice the side of a cake and all this other nonsense. Like you can't do it. You can't. You're married to Princess Diana's son. You're never going to be relatable for
ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Just accept it.
And that's cool. Like, there's nothing like,
no,
you're relatable by being not relatable. Do you know what I mean? Like you then end up, oh, like I could never do this. Let's see this like beautiful thing that she's going to do.
Yeah, but she doesn't want it.
She's making, well, also, is she even that good of a chef? She's making the fucking TikTok pasta. That was like the most intense thing that she did on her own.
Cutting everything with like a paring knife. Like I don't know anything about anything, but it's the wrong
knife skills.
She's always cutting something.
Absolutely not. The way she cut that cucumber, I screamed when I saw it. Screamed.
Okay, I have something else.
Okay.
The fact that and this is a big bone to pick.
Okay.
She should be, when Alice Waters, do we know who Alice Waters is?
I do.
Oh,
yes.
No, I do not.
She is
farm to table.
The
pioneer.
Only reason that farm to table / like Californian American cooking exists in the world is because of this woman.
Yeah, it's more my jam, my kind of food thing.
She is like Wolfgang Puck level of like
legend.
Like has put her mark on food forever. Like this is a living legend. The fact that Meghan did not say to this woman, the only reason that I'm here right now is because you decided to pick up a chef's knife is a crime against
I felt like she did
humanity.
I don't know if I agree with that.
She said,
I feel like
I respect you so much. I'm like, you should be on your hands and knees kissing her individual
like she
toes.
Was nervous around her and giddy around her. So I think
she was so like, I'm so happy that you came here because we are peers. Do you know what I mean? Like she should be, when, I don't even know if this is aired yet, but like I filmed something where Wolfgang Puck was there and Bobby Flay himself was like, the only reason that I'm here is because you exist.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
fair.
Someone who's at the absolute tippy top and has no peers was like, I am bowing down to you. And the fact that Meghan Markle, who made the TikTok pasta wrong on the stovetop, is not saying, I am the only reason that I can do this show is because you decided to be a chef.
I see what you're saying.
Like, I will never forgive her for that. But period.
How does she compare to, say, like a Guy Fieri, though? I'm not really getting your energy here about how respected she should be.
Guy Fieri.
Shut up.
What was the woman's name again?
Alice.
No, I'm asking you, what is her?
Alice Waters.
Okay. Yeah. This whole time I thought it was Alice Walker, who I believe wrote The Color Purple. And I'm like, why is she even there? I didn't know Alice Walker could also cook. Wait, is she deceased? Hey, Siri, is Alice Walker deceased? No, she is not. Oh, that's right. Of course she's not. She's like a late-in-life lesbian, and there was that whole scandal last year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to Alice Walker's family if you're listening to this. She's very much alive. Call her. Call the old lesbian.
I'll check in. Okay.
The chickens, I'm enjoying. When she was in the chicken coop.
Like, oh my God, that so part, boring.
But that part, at least, I felt that she was just like, it felt real. I felt like this, she really does this. This is really something. At least she's being annoying, but like, I was like, all right, this is something.
Okay. From the mom perspective, I have a couple things to say. A bit nauseating the way that she paints herself as a little bit like Mary Poppins. Like the kids and I, we planned together and we picked these, things in the field and I'm like, it doesn't sound like a play date at your house is all that much fun. Like you're very judgy about what the kid puts in their lunchbox. And the kids can't have any processed sugar. She gives me that vibe. And the other thing is that the party that she held, the make-believe non-existent party with Mindy Kaling, no kids are going to eat any of that food. Like what? And the gift bags. They want pizza. Yeah. You know what you get in a gift bag at a kid's party? Slime and like Sour Patch Kids. That's what kids want. The kids will go to the party and be like, this blows. Can we leave?
Well,
Where's the bounce house?
But did you notice the lifestyle show? The lifestyle segments kind of faded away for a while. Like they did the first two, and then they were like, "Wait, what the fuck is this show?" And then we had in Korean Fried Chicken where they had to like really cook. Do you know what I mean?
That's probably true. Yeah, they're like.
Because then she did like a gift wrapping segment where she didn't teach us how to wrap gifts.
When she said, "I taught a gift wrapping class," I'm like, "Who gets a job as a gift wrapping teacher?" That's what she said.
I mean, those exist.
She also said her first job was at 13. I'm like, in the state of California, that's illegal. But that's neither here nor there.
She was living on the edge, Kate. But like, she doesn't even show us how to like properly do her hack for gifts was double-sided tape. Like, one, are you kidding me? And two, like, show us how to do the edge of the gift that you have to do the folds. Like that actually you need to learn how to do. You can't just know how to do it. Just show us that. And that's at least something. She's like, instead she's like, here's this like whalebone that I use to like make edges. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Experience the action from a luxury suite at Capital One Arena. Watch Ovechkin chase history as the Capitals hit the ice, or catch the Wizards take on the NBA's best. Rock out with Disturbed, vibe with Mary J. Blige, or dance the night away with Kylie Minogue. Premium seating, VIP service, and unforgettable moments all under one roof. Book your suite now at CapitalOneArena.com/premier. Capital One Arena. Watch in style, live in the moment.
I think she presents as somebody who's hard to be around because even if you were in her home, it's like everything has to be perfect. She talks a lot about how she has to be clean. Everything has to be clean all the time. By the way, I'm laughing because I'm like that too. But she's presenting as somebody that it feels like you can't have a good laugh at her house.
No, God, no. The friends couldn't. Her friend for 15 years couldn't have a good laugh at her house. Oh, wait. The biggest joke she told was when she said, "Cozy," like that song by Beyonce.
I mean,
she wanted everyone to know that she knew who Beyonce was. That was part of her list.
Yes.
People like Beyonce, right? Let me mention Beyonce real quick for no reason.
Someone called me in a rage about that, and I'm going to play their voice to me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
There was absolutely no reason for her to reference the Beyonce song Cozy. Her friend was talking about pasta or plating or something and described it as cozy. And then she said, that's like someone saying, "Oh, this is almost like magic." And her going, "Yeah, like Gaga's abracadabra." what is this that we are watching? What is the format of this? Because it feels like a charmingly shot Instagram live of someone just fucking around in their house. I want to marry a prince. What is this shit?
There you go. Leaving that. I must have been really pissed if I left an actual voice.
We were like calling each other like two people with rabies. Like we were freaking out with each other. We talked about it 4 times before we actually talked about it on our podcast.
That is true. Which we try not to do, but I couldn't. Yeah. I was exploding. And I only watched the first 2 episodes so far.
And even here's a good example of like what she does wrong is like, remember when her friend comes over and they do the dumplings, which I loved. I liked that episode a lot. Thought it was good. And then they're trying to like flip over the dumplings, but of course they have to put it on this like fucking annoying ass marble plate thing. And they can't flip it over and it like falls out and it falls on the thing. When it falls over, she's like destroyed. She's destroyed. Meanwhile, it's like, that was the funniest part. That was like the lightest part of the whole thing is they're being like, oopsies, like, it's fine, haha. She like...
But again, she's like, perfection is not important. Yes. Go with the flow. And it's like, what are you talking about?
DeRosa, please.
I also have... Wait, I had a really good one.
Well, also, in my fantasy world, there's a blooper reel that's played at the wrap party for this show. And the blooper, like, at first I'm like, what would the blooper reel be on this? Like, she sneezes and then says, excuse me, let's start again. Like, that would be like the biggest blooper. What I would want for it to be is one of the bees gets into her suit and she starts going ballistic, knocks over the bee hut, starts punching the John Lennon dude.
Well, you know, they have published now the website where you can buy her products, but not until, I think, April, which, again, is mismatched.
Why?
Why?
They should have waited.
That was a bad idea. They should have waited. But the products are very few and far between. It's like 2 kinds of tea, shortbread cookies, edible flowers, and jam. And then I thought, you hated the UK, but all your products are so British.
I did not know that jam was half sugar, half fruit, and I'm done with jam. I'm sorry. I learned that fact by watching it. I was like, it's ham. No, absolutely not. I would never know. I'll have ice cream. Too. I'm like, I will have a peanut butter and ice cream now before I have a peanut butter and jam.
Why would people...
I'll just put actual sugar on the fucking sandwich. Half sugar, half jam. Yeah, also, I don't want to take Chris's line away, but where's the jam?
Where's the jam?
Where's the jam?
Never saw it in the show. Didn't see it once in the show.
Jamming on the one.
Talks about it. Talks about it a lot. Talks about who got it.
But like, why are we who got it? But like, why is the first segment of the show not her making the jam?
Great call.
You've all been asking for it, so I'm gonna do it. This is how I make my jam. First segment, I'm in. My tone's completely different on this, you know.
But again, you think that the Netflix notes were that you need like an action shot in the beginning first scene. Is that why they had the beekeeper?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is like, why is she not looking into the camera?
Yeah.
I know why. Like, I know why. Because Netflix is like, we're going to make this edgy and different. And like, it's going to be crazy. And like, we got to do all this cool stuff that we've never done before, like for no reason at all. Why is she not looking directly into the camera like every other show like this has ever done and say, when you're wrapping a gift, here's what you need to do. And show me and be like, look, doesn't this look great? Instead, she's like, we're a fly on the wall as she's like proving to the producer that she like can wrap a gift. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do think you're right. I think they were very nervous to give her any instruction because she strikes me as somebody who obviously she's a perfectionist, but very sensitive.
And it's just all her little quips. She goes, I want to have tacos and just have people be able to, you know, mix and match their toppings. And I'm like, that's not mix and match. Like, what are you saying? Like, she doesn't. And P.S., I've worked with almost everyone on Food Network. They're pros at being able to like string together sentences, being like, so when you're doing this, here's why you do this. And here's this funny quip about it and blah, blah, blah. And this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the job, is like being able to like sum things up. She just like whatever came out of her mouth, she said, and then they like moved on with it. And it was like, at one point, Alice Walker walks by and hugs the rosemary bushes and smells them and is like,
Alice Walker?
Alice,
the author of Color Purple?
Alice Walker. Alice Waters. This is because of you. Alice Waters like smells her rosemary bush and she goes, instead of a tree hugger, a rosemary hugger.
Yeah.
That's so great. I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
Well, that's when I was like,
she might as well have looked directly into the camera and said, hi, hate me more. I'm done coming up with shit.
Is she this boring or is she playing a character? Because this character is very boring to me.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. And again, like every conversation we see on the show, it's like that would have been the first beat that Dominic and I would go, okay, now go further. Yes. But it ends at like, and you've always been a homemaker, blah, blah, blah. Or like, you've always enjoyed food and never, the worst one of them all, whenever like, she's like writing little name tags for everyone or whatever the one thing was.
Yeah.
And then the producer goes, your name. And she goes, oh, you mean Meg? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, yes, I call myself Meg. And then it's like, that's supposed to be like a bombshell that like blows up.
Bombshell.
Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer when she gets like knocked back into a wall and falls down. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what that is presented to us as if it's a revelation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That people call her Meg. No fucking shit.
They call her a lot worse than that. We call her Schmuckers on our podcast. We call her the Duchess of Schmuckers. I wish that she would look at the response to this and say, you know what? I don't want to have to fix this. I don't want to have to fix this lady a third time. But what I am going to say is she doesn't even need to just quote unquote be her because she doesn't know who that person is. And she's not the only, forgive me ladies, but there's a certain type of actress who's been an actress for such a long time that she really, it's a blended thing. She doesn't know who she is. Marrying Prince Harry only made that worse. Like having to be front facing and acting all the time has messed with her mind that I don't believe she knows who she is. So what I need her to do now is do her greatest role, which is the person we wish that she was.
Yeah.
And almost do a series about a lifestyle or do a series where it's behind the scenes of you shooting this, but have the whole thing be scripted. And like when someone yells cut, like smell the candle and goes, this smells like shit. I got to go get me some ginger dick. See you tomorrow. Anything. Like just do something that we would actually do.
Yeah, or all those moments
put
where
all the salts in a crate, yell at a producer, bring these back to Michael's. Yeah. You know, like just whatever it is.
All the scenes where she talks about her kids and they were making it with their hands. And it was so sweet. I'm like, there's not one moment where you make fun of your children that you are not a real mother.
But also too, like there's all these like references to her life, but it's like we don't see anything.
We don't see anything.
Like even on Bare Fucking Tessa, she was like, well, Jeffrey and Jeffrey and Jeffrey and Jeffrey. And then at the end of the episode, we would see Jeffrey and he would eat the food and be like, I love you. And then that was or she'd be throwing a party and then we'd see all the people coming for a party. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But she couldn't have like, it's just so like you see that like no one can get in her orbit.
Yeah.
And again, whenever the real chefs come, they're like, you want me on this show? Like, remember the chef was like, I didn't even know that you knew who I was. And she's like, of course I did. And it's like, no, you didn't. The producer found him.
I was
like,
about to say.
Yeah. Which like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I have no idea who you are.
They had making it so obvious. Yeah. But then it's like, it's so like.
Wait, one other thing. Her friend Vicky, who came over and gave this whole explanation on skincare stuff.
Is this what friends are doing when they hang out with each other? I'm talking about skincare and like making candles. I don't understand. These sound like the worst friendships ever.
I know.
Truly.
Yeah. But also,
do you guys ever prank call people or look for old boyfriends on Instagram? Like that's like my friends and I do when we're together.
Or even just like giggle
just
together.
Giggle.
Remember
like
that one time when we time we played a prank on blank, blank, blank person on Suits? Like, he, sip. Great.
My friends and I could hang out for months at a time and never even say the word frittata. I'm not even going to lie about it. I will not
But you're
even
right,
lie.
Chris. They're afraid of her because there's not even one reference. Like, remember that weird like friend that you had or that gross apartment you had or that gross couch or... They can't say anything negative around her. They're terrified of her. And
I'm terrified of her too. She destroyed the royal family. She's probably going to burn Netflix now that her show sucks. She'll probably burn them to the ground.
We'll get right. No, we're 3 months away from her it being like Meg's at 2, where she leaves Netflix and like as ever is like
Netflix.
Is like like Meg
flicks.
And it's like burned to the ground. And then like she's like, the as ever is in shambles and like blah, blah, blah. And this and that. It's just like, I don't know.
Do you think they're going to renew this?
Yes, because no matter how fucking much we destroy this, I sat there the day it was out and watched every single episode of it. So yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I think they can find constructive criticism and come, not that they will, but if they would like to, this could be a good show.
I don't think it's Netflix or the team that have a problem with the criticism. I think it's more her.
Kate, you'd be surprised. You'd let me just say, without saying anything further, you'd be surprised. Anyway.
I haven't watched all 8 episodes yet. Does she go on the road ever? Or is the whole thing?
No.
Harry shows up. Harry shows up in the last frame of the last episode and says, "You did a great job."
It's just so unrelatable. The Mindy Kaling scene and like the in that little pagoda and they're having the tea and like, I don't know anyone that does this.
But that's fine with me. I'm fine with that being it, but then that needs to be what it is. Like her really expensive friend showing up to be like, P.S., this idea has happened 9 million times and it's failed every single time. Like me and my all-star friends are going to like get together and talk about real stuff. It never works, by the way. 9 million people have done this idea before.
Yeah.
So, but like when Mindy Kaling shows up and is in denim Valentino, like that's fine if that's what you make this show be, not... And then I was just in my garden and blah, blah, blah. And then Mindy Kaling's like, I'm drunk now. Let's fucking party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's trying to liven it up at least.
Mindy tried. I think she got in the car on the way home and she was like, I don't even know where to begin about what I just experienced. I got to get Mindy Kaling drunk and just talk to her about it.
Yeah, I'm done with her anyway as well. Because at one point she was like, sometimes there's oil on top of the peanut butter and I have to stir it. Who has time for that? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in the morning? That takes 2 seconds. Stir the peanut butter. Sometimes when it's real peanut butter, it does have oil on it. And when Mindy was complaining about it,
but
you
by
guys
the way,
are done. I'm done with both of you.
Meg, if you will, was also like, I make my family breakfast in the morning and it's so chaotic. I'm like, you have a full staff, a husband that's unemployed,
none of us believe that
and
you do.
only 2 children. What are you talking about?
I would love for season 2 of this to be
her at my house.
Harry and Meghan sort of bringing the property back to code after all the damage that was done from shooting the first season. Like they should be inundated. Like the whole house should be covered in bees, first of all. Like an insurmountable amount of bees. The plumbing doesn't work because some idiot put salt in the bath. And so now all the pipes have corroded and rotted.
Oh,
all of this shit. I want it to be, we never should have shot this 8 episodes of reality show, now 8 episodes of recovery. And they end up divorcing at the end of it.
It also could be go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm not going to be able to recover from Dominic saying, I don't want anybody taking a bath in my apartment.
I want to clean a ring of your filth from my bathtub. I'm not good at friends with anyone. I wouldn't let my mother do it. I'm not even joking. A bathtub in someone's home is for you to take a bath in, not guests. It's not a hotel.
And I don't even take baths. I think it's like, why do I want to sit in my own skin cells?
No. She needs to take the show on the road and she needs to go say goodbye to her father. That's what season 2 needs to
do. Dominic.
He's old. He's in poor health. They have not spoken for years. She will do herself a million favors. If she reunites with him before he dies, she's going to do herself a million favors.
But she won't do that.
God, I wish she would.
This could be a show that's like half gardening, half like Selena plus chef. Do you know what I mean? You know, like Selena plus chef on at Max, where Selena's like, I have no idea how to cook because I've been an actress my whole life.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do I do now? And they're like, do this. And she's like, huh? And then she's like stirring in all this. You know what I mean? Like there's a part of it where like when she was like the sous chef for the other chef, that was, I was like, it was so much better. And I was like so down. Like that she was good. She was joking with them. It was fun. It wasn't this like Stepford Wives, like,
and she couldn't be perfect because of it. That was her great life lesson. Right. You can't be perfect when somebody else is head of the class and you are the student.
And when that friend was like, whatever that thing is called, where you put the gold in the broken thing, you know what I mean? When it's called like blah, 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 whatever. And the friend was rolling the dumplings with her and she was like, I don't think things that are perfect are actually as beautiful as things that are broken. Or something like that. And Meghan looked at her and was like,
Was it a lip quiver?
It was she was about to start crying because she was like, "You're right.
You get me." Yeah.
I am broken. That's why I'm doing this, to show people how perfectly broken I am.
Would it kill her to just say, like, when she's doing a gardening scene, like, I felt so isolated and alone when I was in the UK that gardening was the only place that I felt at home with myself.
Thank you.
You know,
I escaped here. Yeah.
Yeah. We would all be like,
of
course you did. Let's hear more about it. And then be like, I really started doing it. That is a compelling episode of television.
Yeah, that's her fix. And then she goes, I realized when I was gardening in the UK, the best thing I can do is tend to my own garden and to rebuild myself. And that's why I have a business, which is how you can build your own garden at your own house on your property. Edible flowers, tea, and jams.
Well, how many times are we going to do the edible flowers, by the way? You know what I mean? For real. What is this?
Yeah. All of the products are available
baked by Melissa 17 years ago. Yeah.
It's every Meghan Markle product is designed for a kiosk at a Renaissance fair. It's like, there's no practical value here.
How long until those shortbread cookies are at TJ Maxx?
If that. I bet TJ Maxx wouldn't even buy them.
And it's also, again, it's like they already exist. She just said, go get the log of thing that's already pre-cut and just make these.
But
which is perfectly fine. You know what I mean? But
I just wanted to visit that evil half sister at some point.
Oh yeah, she should be real Sharon in.
Get ready with me while I get on my private plane to have a physical fight for charity with my twat half sister.
She should be in the window, kind of like Mary Crosby on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City at Mirror.
Yes.
Yeah,
looking in the window trying to get in the thing, and she's being barred by the PAs.
Yes,
Again, I'm down to, and again, when she's in her garden, in her casual jeans that were probably the same ones that what's his name was wearing at the Super Bowl,
Kendrick
Lamar,
Celine, retail value $1,300.
Yeah, those, and then she has her more jewelry than we all three of us combined could pay for.
Absolutely,
and then her Northwestern crew neck sweatshirt.
Oh, I love that one. Yep.
But it's I would love to see her in an apron with dirt all over it and her actually planting, doing gardening and weeding the garden and being like, here's what I like to plant. I like to plant this. I really use this a lot in my cooking. I really like to use this. Showing us how she's built her garden is interesting. Mm-hmm. I want to know that. For this show that's a Pinterest board come to life, that actually is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've now figured out how I really want season 2 to end. This idea that you're saying here, where she's building a new garden for season 3, and she's like, over here I put the sunflowers. My children have some fruits and vegetables over here, and this is the shed. And then she looks up and says, my sister's buried underneath it. And then they fade to black. And then the news starts reporting, we haven't seen Samantha Markle in a year. It's an interesting point.
Oh, God.
That's how you get eyes on the show. She should just put up a surprise finale and do that.
Yeah. What was I going with?
She needs to just do a book too. Like a Harry wrote Spare. She just write a book or something. She's so...
But again, that book tour is going to be insufferable. No. I can't.
But this show could work. It just needs to be real. It just needs to be... And again, she can just be like, here's how you're going to... P.S. Did we hear one measurement of anything that she did in this? Not one measurement of And again, I said to Dominic on our podcast, when you're baking a cake, you can't just free ball what the measurements are. In cooking, yes, you can do that. You can add to taste. But when you bake something, it's cooking is art, baking is science. You put something in the oven and an hour later it either works or it doesn't. And it's because of the ratios that you put in.
She does that a little bit for the cake, but then she stops. She doesn't go all the way with it. She just the first, the flour, the baking soda, and the powder. And
but
then
she doesn't say you need 4 cups of flour and then you need to add this much of cups. She just says we need flour. But I'm like, okay, but how much? That's baking 101
and post the recipe somewhere for the love of God,
or have it come up on the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we've covered it. Thank you, guys.
This is a pretty damning review.
Yeah,
all that said, it's a great show.
We watch it. Everyone
Beautifully
watch
shot.
it.
Beautifully shot.
Hassan's in Hawaii right now, so he was just like catching up on my stories like early in the morning. So when I woke up, I put up a thing of her making the beeswax candle and I said, Goop is shaking. And he replied to it and he said, has anyone checked on Sandra Lee?
Oh my God, I know.
Oh my God.
Who's the next person to want to have a lifestyle show? Because Pamela Anderson apparently did this in Canada. I'd never watched the show, but apparently this is a ripoff of her show. So who's the next celebrity you...
Natalia Grace.
Yeah.
Who actually I think it is?
Jennifer Lawrence?
No.
Who doesn't want to work anymore? Who doesn't want to act? That's really who it is. Like, who wants to build a business so they don't have to go to auditions anymore?
I'd love to see Anna. I would like to see an Anna Delvey lifestyle show because I want to see her lifestyle.
Lining up. And the sad part is she'd be like, oh, can't go over to this part of my apartment. Beep, beep, beep. Like my ankle monitor is going off. Right. Like that's what I needed to see from Meghan's version of that.
You know who would really be a good consultant for the show is Dorinda Medley because she's got that big property and she's funny around the house. Dorinda would be like, okay, like make yourself a little bit more, like make some jokes.
Yeah.
I'd see Dorinda do the show though. I mean, Dorinda could host it at her house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or go to Meghan.
Those
Imagine Dorinda and Meghan.
Dorinda and Meghan. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That'd be great. I need to text her actually.
Yeah, text her that.
Should you be on season 2?
Yeah.
Like you can get to her, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who's on your show this week? What's going on?
We had our Oscars.
Oscars spectacular with awards correspondent Rebecca Bregman came out today.
Okay.
And then next week is, hold on.
Elizabeth Berkley featuring podcaster Jess Rothschild.
Oh, I love
podcaster,
Jess.
Friend of pod. She's great. She's a great friend and she's a great gal.
All right. Well, tell everybody where they can find you.
Dominic.
My website's domintary.com. It's sort of under construction. So go find me on Instagram at Dominic Pupa or at the Fixing Famous People Instagram page. Of course.
And you can obviously find me at the Chris DeRosa. And we have our Kate was just on last week, so you can go listen to your favorite talking about Jessica Biel, which by the way started a chain reaction where Justin Timberlake is now off the wagon because of our episode. Are you in agreement with this or not?
She agrees.
Should we do that? We did.
We may have done
what else would have done it? You know,
he must have listened to it right after that sound check. I was thinking like if he showed up to sound check and then got wasted, he must have heard it right in his dressing room.
You know, in the dressing room or on like a hike or something. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank Chris and Dom and remind you to make sure that you click subscribe, leave a 5-star review. Just go to the Apple Podcast, for example, and find my show. And then you hit the 5-star button and scroll down and you can leave a review. I would love it if you left a review. And then also make sure that you are subscribed to my What to Watch list. My What to Watch list is essential every week on what to watch in unscripted TV. Go to katecasey.substack.com. I also have bonus episodes when you go to patreon.com/KCasey, patreon.com/KCasey for bonus episodes. And make sure you follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at KCCA, TikTok, it's KCasey, and Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at KCasey. Check back tomorrow for an all-new must-listen-to episode.
At 24, I lost my narrative, or rather it was stolen from me. And the Monica Lewinsky that my friends and family knew was usurped by false narratives, callous jokes, and politics. I would define reclaiming as to take back what was yours. Something you possess is lost or stolen, and ultimately you triumph in finding it again. So I think listeners can expect me to be chatting with folks, both recognizable and unrecognizable names, about the way that people have navigated roads to triumph. My hope is that people will finish an episode of Reclaiming and feel like they filled their tank up. They connected with the people that I'm talking to and leave with maybe some nuggets that help them feel a little more hopeful. Follow Reclaiming with Monica Lewinsky on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Reclaiming early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.